just for one person. So anyway, so that's definitely before they step out of the job, make sure that all of these things are in place. And then, so you talk about insurance now. Are you talking about life insurance?
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's talking about one of the things that's typically forgotten or maybe avoided in this case is people don't consider that there should be insurance on, I'm not talking about life insurance, on both, the non-working spouse and the working spouse. Usually, you think we need to get covered on the working spouse, and there's some rules of thumbs that are out there saying, it's 10 times your earnings, whatever the case may be. We don't have a hard and fast rule that we recommend to our clients, but one thing we do is consider that you should have some insurance on the non-working spouse in this environment where you go from 2 to 1 income. A lot of times when you leave a job, a lot of times you have life insurance as part of your employment package and benefits, and you leave, you might have a chance to buy it outside, but a lot of times you'll lose opportunities to do that. So
I think in our culture, we look at the man as, the ultimate provider in the home, and that's not always the case anymore, but the primary provider is the man. And so typically, what I have seen is that people will take out an insurance policy on the person that is that primary provider. But, and as you said, sometimes they do it at the stay-at-home person. But what if that working person should kick off and then the stay-at-home person, or vice versa? I mean, it doesn't look like a good scenario if you only have one insured. Either way.
Right. Yeah.
Either way.
Definitely.
Because you have kids in place, maybe, and that's part of the reason why people stay home. So, do they take out term insurance or whole life insurance?
Well, I think it's a personal preference more than anything. We can talk all day long about the differences between the two, but you certainly want to be covered to pay for the expenses that are going to come about because of the death, obviously, and income replacement is another idea as well. And usually we use most of those terms in term life insurance discussions. It just depends on, do you have the income to support? Whole life is going to be more expensive. But there's living benefits on the whole life that you don't think about. That could be a benefit
like
to the family as well. Well, they have built up a cash value, so you can have the ability to get to that cash value is one of them.
On whole life.
Yes, on whole life. The cash value built up into it is creditor protected. So, in lawsuit situations, you can't get to it in most cases. But that's just a couple of the examples. There's many more.
Whole life policies, are they kind of an annuity, or can it be an annuity?
You can use it as sort of, like an annuity. That's one of the living benefits that you can have. It can provide a retirement income stream. If in fact that's one of the things that you're getting close to retirement, you can use it that way. And we've used it quite a few times in that scenario on our planning side.
All right. So what's something else that we need to be cognizant of if we're reducing our income to one? What about, do we look at deductions in any way? Can we get more deductions because somebody's staying home, or no? You
don't get any more deductions just because they're not working anymore.
Right.
Obviously, your income is going to change for the tax
sure.
So your tax rates could potentially change, and probably will change.
Hopefully it will.
As a result of that. So that provides more opportunities maybe to pay less in taxes, and the hurt, I guess, or the damage may not be so great because you may be paying less taxes as a result. So it won't balance out completely, of course. But.
Right. What if the stay-at-home person, because it could be dad or mom, but if somehow they created an at-home business?
We see that a lot. Let's take the traditional role. Let's say husband works and the wife is in the professional world when they decide to have children. So, and we've seen this a lot. So she's staying at home right now, but maybe she was in public relations or she was in advertising or something like that. So she starts a little business doing that at home.
Right.
We see it a lot, and that could be a huge tax benefit, and they can still have some income coming in the door, which helps out the family.
Yeah, but of course they all need to be aware that college is coming up, and
Whoa.
there's a lot of things to consider. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really tough for people to scale down to one income, but those are some tips. 571-2428, 571-CHAT. We'll be back with Kevin Roberts of Roberts CPA Group. If you have a question, call right now.
WFIA, The Spirit.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. Both Democrat Hillary Clinton and Republican Donald Trump have broken with a 70-year consensus on free trade, with Trump threatening a 45% tariff on imports from China, Mexico, and other countries on his enemies list. The problem is that tariffs don't really tax foreign countries and companies. It's a tax on American consumers, who must either pay more for imported products they want or pay more for American-made items they don't really want. In terms of creating jobs, far more workers in the U.S. make items for export than the meager number of new positions possibly gained by restricting imports. Economists agree a trade war would cost jobs rather than creating them. With today's global economy and enhanced transportation of goods, the promise of new protective tariffs, a punishing tax hike on American consumers, illustrates the wisdom of H.L. Mencken's statement that for every complex problem, there is an answer that is clear, simple, and wrong. I'm Michael Medved.
At Window World, you're going to get our very best quality product at the lowest possible price, right up front. Hi, I'm Kim Foster here for Window World. From the Good Housekeeping Seal to our limited lifetime warranty, for just $60 a month, you get 8 windows installed, plus the energy-saving solar zone with approved credit. What a value! Window World guarantees our windows, including labor and glass breakage, for life. Give us a call or visit us online for full financing details at 800-NEXT-WINDOW or windowworldlouisville.com. Window World, simply the best for less.
It's like the rebirth the world feels during spring. The new life when there was none, in the hope of real growth and wonder, like the kind of wonder of joining Alistair Begg on a magnificent Mediterranean journey.
Have you ever wondered what it would have been like to travel the dynamic missionary journeys of the Apostle Paul, to see for yourself the sights of the early Christian church? This is Alistair Begg, inviting you to join me this fall on the footsteps of the Apostles' Mediterranean cruise. Together we'll encounter the sights of the early church like never before, with wonderful stops in Rome, Naples, Jerusalem, Athens, and more.
It's an unforgettable 15 days on 2 continents, sailing on one of the newest cruise ships, the beautiful Silhouette.
And we'll experience the magnificent Sistine Chapel, the historic Western Wall in Jerusalem, the beautiful Greek island of Santorini, and much more in luxurious accommodations over the pristine waters of the Mediterranean.
Get more information at WFIAFM.com and click on the Footsteps of the Apostles banner. It's our golden anniversary at WFIA.
50 years on the air in Kentuckiana.
And you can help us kick off our 50th summer. This Father's Day, June 19th at Huber, as WFIA and Better by Design present Gold City. With plenty of gold records of their own, Gold City. Celebrate Dad's heart of gold with a sweet deal that's good as gold, with 2 tickets which include Huber's Family Restaurant's amazing buffet and a Gold City concert for just $50.
Gold City.
Just 200 pairs of tickets will be sold, and they'll go fast. Don't miss this golden opportunity with Gold City. Call Huber's now for tickets, 812-923-5255. That's 812-923-5255. Call 812-923-5255.
WFIA and Spalding University want you to have a fun and safe Memorial Day weekend. Stay alive. Don't text and drive. This message has been brought to you by Spalding University School of Business, offering undergraduate degrees in business and accounting. Choose a traditional classroom setting or online options. Visit spalding.edu and let Spalding School of Business assist in your next career move. And together with WFIA, they're asking drivers not to text and drive this Memorial Day weekend. You're listening to Just Ask Joyce on WFIA, The Spirit.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Kevin Roberts is here with us on board, and he is, of course, CPA, and we are talking taxes and money and one-income families. And I know that many of you are used to that, and some of you have been through that, chopping down, the income to try and stay home with the kids. And again, I applaud you for doing that. I think it's very noble. And sometimes it's by necessity because somebody loses their job. Somebody gets sick. Mm-hmm. Somebody, one thing or another happens, because as we already talked, life does happen.
Life does happen. You're
and
right.
You just want to be prepared. So Kevin has given you some tips about how that can look and should look. So you make sure, if you missed that, to go back to the podcast at WFIAFM.com and check that out. Now, I have some questions that someone submitted to me, Kevin, that I'm going to just roll off to you, all right? And you can just answer them one by one.
Of course.
All right. This lady says, what can we do to prepare for the next tax season? And maybe it's a twofold question here. How do we organize it throughout the year so you're not scrambling in January? Do we need a folder, or what helps you as a CPA?
I think what helps me is, personally, for example, we'll have a folder that we'll start probably halfway during the year of different things that will be tax beneficial, I guess, or tax document, and start putting things in there. Now, you won't get most of your documents until the first of the next year, but there's some things that happen during the year that you want to remind yourself that it's a tax aspect, receipts or whatever it is. Especially important if you have a work-at-home business or small business that you work out of your home. You want to track a lot of the expenses that are normally there, so you just keep a ledger of your expenses also. But as far as documents are concerned, I just use a folder, and I start putting my stuff as – I say stuff. That's a technical term for document, I guess.
Right.
So I put my documents
that document that does not get wet.
That's
that
right.
Documentation
That's
when
course,
you fall in the water. That's right.
Of course. And start putting it in a folder, and you just keep adding things. Right. Now, a lot of that stuff you won't use. Some of it you won't use because you just think about it. Even if you think you might use it, you put it in there, and then you have everything together.
Tell us an example or two. What kind of stuff would you put in there?
Well, for example, during the year, one of the deductions that most people or a lot of people forget about is when you register your car. Part of that registration fee is an ad valorem tax. That tax itself is a property tax that is deductible on your return. So, but you might pay that in your birth month, for example. We pay all of ours, for example, in April. And I think, April. So all those little tickets or cards, in April, we just finished with tax season. As a matter of fact, I go mine the day after tax season. I go up to the Oldham County Courthouse and pay my property taxes on the car. So I put those in the folder because if I tried to look for them 6 months from now, they're not going to be found.
That's when you scramble.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when you start scrambling.
So then you start putting stuff into that folder for the year because you get to deduct it in the year you pay it, which would be in 2016.
What about dividends and stock market reports and things like that?
I would keep those on. I'm gonna keep your monthly statements until your end of year statement comes, at least, and probably maybe even longer. Now you're not going to use those monthly statements for tax return purposes because they just don't have enough.
They don't have
tax information on it. But it could give you details on records that that you need at some point in time. But you won't get those the investment account statements until end of February, probably.
Right. Mileage, certainly people should be keeping that up with that.
Right. Anybody has a small business, self-employed business, working out of home, have their own unique requirements for documents, and a lot of time we just caution. You can get a little mileage booklet for book mileage, and everything else just keep a ledger. And it could be something that pulls a notebook piece. We've had those. Clients borrow a notebook, a piece of notebook paper. And to be honest, their documents or their organization is probably some better than maybe that use a computer. But it depends.
All right. So definitely that helps you as a CPA, though, just to keep it organized.
Well, documentation is key. If you can't prove you paid for it, the IRS is not going to allow you to have it.
Right. Okay, and what should a married couple do? Someone asked this